Welcome to the Hard Truth Podcast. This is Jeremy Fouts. In today's episode, we are discussing what are you teaching without saying a word. That's the name of this podcast. And, today this is something that's been heavy on my heart lately. And a lot of you probably know I build a lot of meal plans for people with nutrition. And this last month and a half, I've been working with a lot of high school students and mainly the Prosper area, but all across Texas. And I've been working with a lot of these athletes that are football players, baseball players, basketball players, volleyball, trying to put on strength, trying to put on size, trying to put on speed, and a majority of them are looking to play college football, college baseball. And, just in this discussions that I'm having with moms and dads and kids and this is my life, right? I own a nutrition company, but this is my passion also of helping young athletes advance their career and going on to that next level. And in these discussions, I found so many of them that has led me to want to do this podcast today, which is what are you teaching without saying a word? And I've got 7 quick points that I want to share with you today on today's podcast. And if you're listening and you're a mentor, you're a coach, you're a parent, or maybe you're about to have kids, it doesn't matter the age of your kids. I feel like this podcast can be something special for you to make a memory of and recognize that your influence and your actions speak more than your words. And I'm telling you, I've had so many conversations with dads, with moms, but mainly dads that I speak to about maybe their kid is not doing as good as what they think their potential is. And they want to make excuses, for the coaches or all these different things. And I'm going to tell you today as a parent, it's a hard truth fact, and that is leadership starts at home. And I know that's one of my points, and all of you know that I'm dyslexic and I always just bounce around here and there, but it starts with you as a parent. If you want your kid to have the best full potential, you want your student athlete to be the best they can be. And maybe it doesn't matter if it's not even sports. Maybe if it's in band, maybe if it's in art, whatever that situation, I'm going to tell you the fact is it starts with you. So let's dive into today's podcast. So what are you teaching without saying a word? This is where it all starts. Now, I will tell you this from personal experience. I'm not the perfect dad. I've definitely made tons of mistakes, but this is something I'm working on a daily basis. And from my personal perspective, if you really look at my family and our different successes and different failures of going through the different cycles of our time, me raising my boys, I will tell you this, that the times that I have my workouts dialed in, the times that I have my nutrition dialed in, the times that my attitude is on point, the times that I'm showing my wife with total love and respect, all of that goes into my kids. There's been a few times that maybe I've been a little lethargic. I've not been as action or as focused on my work. I've not been as focused on my nutrition. And I can tell you, I'm point out to exactly those times that my kids modeled that same thing that I was doing. So understand that it's up to you, and it's up to you to set the pace for your family. But leadership isn't just a job title, it's your daily example. Your habits, discipline, health, attitude, and how you treat people. See, you can't preach discipline and skip the gym. You can't preach respect and treat your spouse like they're second. I have, again, over and over these moms and dads. I want to help little Johnny. I want to help little Johnny. And I'm like, you can help little Johnny the most by them seeing you have discipline. You can help little Johnny the most by seeing you how to show your spouse respect, how to show the community respect, how to want to do things the right way. Everything we do here at the Fouts family is trying to do things the right way. When we go rent a VRBO, my motto is we leave things better than when we found it. That's the Fouts motto. Every time we see a piece of trash, we pick it up. But understand, leadership, it's not up to the coach, it's not up to the teacher. Leadership starts at home. Next point is actions. Actions versus words. See, kids and people in general, they mirror what you do more than what you say. And so I'll give you an example, like I mentioned a few minutes ago. Waking up early, working out, eating well, treating people with respect, handling adversity the right way. It's all about what they see. That's your actions. See, legacy isn't built in a day, but it's built daily. So the legacy that you're going to leave your kids, and I want the audience to understand this, the things that you are doing on a daily basis right now, that is your legacy. And it's so easy to get caught up in work. It's so easy to get caught up in the busy lifestyle. Our home is extremely busy right now. We're having, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 baseball games a week. I own a nutrition company. We're looking at expanding in different areas. We're doing all these different things as a family. But it's so easy for me to get caught up in that. But it's those little things that I'm doing daily with my kids that's building that legacy that they're going to remember when they are having their own kids, mom and dad cooking for them, meal planning with them, talking to them about their academics, talking to them about universities they want to go to, spending time with them in the front yard, trying to make things look better. It's the daily activities that build that legacy. You can't just wish and hope for leaving your kids a legacy. It's daily examples, day in and day out. Next point, the power of owning your mistakes. Some of the greatest things that I've done with my boys is I've talked to them about my failures. I've talked to them about my mistakes. I've let them know that I'm not perfect and dad's going to make mistakes. But here's something I've tried to do a really good job on is I share and how admitting my failures that builds respect and trust with them. And one of the things that I've tried to do really good job at, especially the last 6 or 7 years as they have matured and gotten older, is that dad is not only perfect, but when I have a problem, when I have adversity, here's how I'm going to handle it. I try not to let them see any stress that maybe I feel. When I feel that stress, I'm headed to the gym. I'm not taking it out on them. But understand that you are going to have mistakes, and it's the power of owning them mistakes and letting your kids know that dad is a man, dad has failures, dad has mistakes, dad has things happening in his life that maybe he has to work through, but he's not perfect, but he tries to do the right thing. See, your kids need to see you fail, and they need to see you get back up. I was talking to a dad the other day, and he had some bad things happen in life, and this was a year and a half ago, and he's still moping about it. He's still talking about it, and that's affecting his kids. And I called him by name and I said, man, this is a bad thing that happened to you in your life. It's not your fault that you got dismissed from this corporate position. It's not your fault maybe that this has happened and that's happened. But what you got to understand, you are now affecting generation of your kids and their kids because you're still moping. The power of owning your own mistakes and doing the right thing regardless of when failure comes. Next point is seasons of sacrifice. This is something I've been working with my boys for the last several years. If they want to play at the next level, they've got to have seasons of sacrifice. If they want to be the best, there's going to be seasons of sacrifice. It's the same way with Candace and I. If we are going to do something great with our legacy, if we are going to do something powerful that's going to impact a lot of people's lives through nutrition and through service, then they have got to see mom and dad make those sacrifices as well. They've got to see us spending time in the community. They've got to see us, serving others. but there are seasons of sacrifice. You cannot have tons of success without seasons of sacrifice. Teach your kids the seasons of sacrifice. Next point is the ripple effect. The ripple effect. Show how your example extends beyond your family. You know, my boys, I'm privileged to have all of their friends in our home all the time. And so my example is not just going to be with my kids. My example and with my wife and our marriage of 28 years is not just an example for our own kids. It's an example for those kids that are in our home, that hopefully they see a strong home. They understand how I love on Candace. They see how she respects me and how that she helps support me in everything that we do as we work together on a daily basis. We work together not only in our profession, in the career and the job that we pursue and owning a nutrition company, but we support each other and help give the best life that they can have. They see us being able to serve on the baseball board and all these different things. But this is a ripple effect and community impact. It makes a generational impact. And you're not just raising kids, you're raising future leaders, future spouses, future parents. And I promise you, your commitment to being that leader at home is going to pay ripple effects through generations. In closing, I'm going to try to share with you a challenge. Number one, a question. What are you modeling today? And here's a practical takeaway. Pick one area this week to tighten up on for you to be a better example. Whether that be your fitness, your service to others, your attitude, but find one area and you and your wife, you and your husband sit down and say, you know what? We've been a little bit lazy in this part of our life. You know what? We've not served others like I know we need to do. Let's go show Johnny how we're going to serve in the community. Let's go show Johnny that we need to up our game on our fitness. Let's go show him that this is the best way we are going to be able to have that ripple effect of us changing these different areas and focus on those one area at a time and make an impact that can be a ripple effect. In the final word, I'll say this. They're watching, so give them something worth watching. They're already following you. The question is, where are you leading them? See, I feel a big responsibility, not only for my two boys, but all of their friends. I feel a responsibility for my community to see Candace and I as example of a marriage. I see my responsibility of me and my impact with the company Core Vive, of how I can make an example, for anybody that sees what Core Vive stands for, what Hard Truth Podcast stands for, what I stand for as an individual. Because here's what it all comes down to. When you get it all summed up, if I could not ever say a word, how would people see me? Your words are not as important as your actions. And what I want everyone to know is it's worth the effort of being that example. Where leadership starts at home and it starts with you of being the best example. You can't wish that little Johnny hits the gym 4 days a week and make sure he has his macros in and working on his speed and agility and have straight A's. And you watch Netflix and eat ding dongs and Twinkies and drink diet sodas and say, why is little Johnny not an academic superstar? Why is little Johnny not on the varsity team? Why is little Johnny not doing this or doing that? You take ownership and you decide that today I'm going to accept the challenge and I'm going to work hard on one area. I'm going to master it. I'm going to work hard on another area the next week and I'm going to master it. Because when it's all said and done, I'm responsible for the legacy that I leave. And that legacy that I leave is built by daily actions. So thank you guys for joining the Hard Truth Podcast. Share this episode or any episode that has definitely made an impact on you. And it doesn't matter, again, the age of your kids. If they're 12, it's not too late. This is the most important time. You know, I know Corey has got some young boys, that listener of mine that I've been texting back and forth. This is the perfect time for him to bond with his kids, for him to be that example, and for him to say, guys, here's the direction that I'm leading that family, because Corey is leading the family. The question is, where is he leading them? Share with your friends and family this podcast. Thank you for your continued support at the Hard Truth Podcast.
Let's go!